morning tonight.
A shooting claimed the lives of 2 children and left 17 others hurt after a gunman shot through the windows of a Catholic school. Tonight, an update on the victims' conditions.
The president has the authority to fire those who are not aligned with his mission.
Plus, a shakeup in leadership at the Center for Disease Control and Prevention, who the president wants to get rid of.
And the Trump administration considering changing up the rules on how long foreign students can study in the U.S.
Welcome to WTOL 11 News Plus Now, Toledo's only local, live, full 30-minute exclusively streaming newscast only on WTOL 11 Plus. I'm Dan Cummins.
And I'm Kaylee Marantat. We start off tonight with the news that a local library branch is closing and others are seeing reduced hours.
Kaylee, the Toledo-Lucas County Public Library System Board of Trustees voted to close the Toledo Heights branch in South Toledo today, saying it's because of budget cuts and strains of funds. Megan Hartnett reports on the next steps.
The Toledo Heights branch has been part of South Toledo neighbors' narratives for decades.
It's a classic.
But it's the beginning of the branch's final chapter, as the library's Board of Trustees voted to close it come January. The library's executive director, Jason Kuchma, says this is because of impacts to the public library fund.
It's a function of those dollars not keeping up with inflation and also of the legislature reducing library funding across the state.
The state budget cut the Toledo-Lucas County Public Library's funds by $1.6 million, on top of a $2.8 million deficit. The library has already made $900,000 in cuts.
Whether it's mulching flower beds, cutting back on program supplies for our staff, trying to make a lot of really hard cuts that we could defer for now.
But it's not enough. Kuchma says closing the book on this branch will allow the library to recoup around $500,000.
Other deficits we will try to figure out how through reduction in force, unfortunately. And we've done a lot of that work already with our exempt staff, and it will be time for us to work with both of our bargaining units to see how that shakes out.
As the news comes, community members are checking out memories old and new.
It is my home library. I have a 1-month-old child that I look forward to taking there, reading in the children's area.
We've been here since I was a little kid. Sorry to see it go.
Kuchma says the library is working with the city to determine what will happen to the Toledo Heights building.
Like people here in the community, we want to see that building put to good use for public good, much in the way the library has served that as well.
This closing is just the turning of a new page, as the library's goal is to consolidate the branch with the Heather Downs location. The plan is to keep the Heather Downs branch open until a new one is constructed in between the two. The goal is to start the new chapter at the new location by 2028. Reporting in South Toledo, Megan Hartnett, WTOL 11.
Megan Hartnett joins us now in studio. And Megan, you went to board meeting this morning. What was the vibe there like? People who want to just talk about the closing, they can't be very happy right now.
Dan, I mean, there was a lot of people there. A lot of people just came to voice their opinions because they didn't know that this was happening. And, you know, the people were obviously very passionate, but some of them, you know, they told stories about how they grew up going to the library. Some of them said that, you know, they volunteered there when they were younger. One even said that he was like, I remember when the library at the Toledo Heights branch first got internet, and I was a web wizard there, is what they called it. And he's like, you know, I always envisioned that he has a 1-month-old, and he was like, I envision, you know, bringing my kid to this library. But I think, you know, people were passionate about it, but the bigger concern for them was what's going to happen to the building, not as so much that the library's closing, because they are going to be putting a new branch in between the Toledo Heights branch and the Heather Downs branch. So I think people are just concerned that it's, you know, a historical building. And so the library is working with the city. They're going to figure out what happens to it because they both currently own it.
Money is the issue, they say, but like the library just passed a big levy last year. So they can't use that money. Why isn't that going in?
Yeah, so there was issue 24. It was a $153 bond, and that money can only go to capital improvement projects. They aren't able to use it for things like this. It can't be used to fund the library's operational cost. And I know they have projects already set that they plan to do throughout all of the different branches, and one of those is to build the Blue Creek Metro Park Library that's going to be going in White House. So that money has already been allocated, so they can't change it.
So this was state money they've lost, and that's been in the news. The state has taken away some of their money, libraries around the state. So they're not alone. Toledo's not alone in this whole boat, and they have to figure out other ways maybe to make their budget more even.
Yeah, that's where they talked about that in here, Toledo Lucas County Public Libraries, this is about 40% of their budget comes from the state. And the executive director, he was saying he knows of other systems that rely on 90 to 100% of state funding. So he said, I don't even know what they're going to be doing, but this is probably going to be a trend that we're seeing happen throughout Ohio. It's not going to be just here in Lucas County. And like he said, the closing is just the first thing. There might also be layoffs and who knows what coming.
Well, Toledo loves their library, no doubt about it. So hopefully this gets resolved and at least find a way of getting around this solution. Thanks so much, Megan Hartnett. Kaylee?
We're tracking the stories making headlines around the world and country right now. The Trump administration proposes a rule to limit foreign students studying in the U.S. And we're getting a look at how many people ICE has deported since President Trump took office. Plus, a shakeup in the CDC, who the president is trying to get rid of. But first, we're learning more about the mass shooting at a Minneapolis Catholic church.
Of course, we're standing up with thoughts and with prayers, but thoughts and prayers are not going to cut it.
2 children ages 8 and 10 were killed. 17 others were injured but are expected to survive. The FBI is investigating it as an act of domestic terrorism and a hate crime targeting Catholics. The 23-year-old shooter is a graduate of the school whose mother was once an employee of the church. Police are still looking for a motive behind the attack. Less than a month after she was confirmed by the U.S. Senate, the Trump administration is looking to terminate CDC Director Susan Morenez. Attorneys for Morenez say she's not resigning and they're contesting the firing because the notification came from the White House staffer, not the president himself. The shakeup comes as the FDA this week moved to limit who's eligible for a COVID-19 vaccine. Mass deportation continues to be a top priority for President Trump. According to a senior Homeland Security official, Immigration and Customs Enforcement deported nearly 200,000 people in the first 7 months since the president returned to the White House. It puts the federal agency on track for its highest rate of removals in at least a decade. The Trump administration wants to put a limit on how long foreign students can study in the U.S. A proposed rule targets not only the visas of foreign students, but also those with cultural exchange programs in foreign media. The Department of Homeland Security says for students, it would be a fixed time frame, no longer than the length of the program, and not to exceed 4 years. Right now, foreign students with an F visa can remain in the U.S. 60 days after finishing their studies. Foreign media visas would extend up to 240 days, but those could be extended.
We've got a recall to tell you about tonight. It involves these pressure washers while you're being asked to stop using it. Next, John.
And a few showers will be tapering off, and I'm going to be tracking sunshine returning and also a milder Labor Day that's coming up in just a couple minutes.
If you're watching us on WTOL 11 Plus, you already know about our exclusive streaming platform. But do you follow WTOL 11 on social media? Well, right now, there's video you have to see on our TikTok page, including videos from our team of meteorologists. Meteorologist Kaylee Bowers tells us how water spouts are formed.
Heads up, northern Ohio, you could see some water spouts on Lake Erie this week. You can see our video right there taken on Monday afternoon from Bridget, right along Lake Erie, twin water spouts. What a sight. Now, water spouts are formed when cool air aloft moves over warm waters, creating the perfect spin-up setup. Luckily, these funnels don't last long, but they can tip over boats.
Make sure to follow us on the WTOL 11 TikTok page. There's plenty to watch, including the latest stories being talked about locally and nationally. Got a recall to tell you about tonight. More than 750,000 pressure washers linked to dozens of injuries are being recalled. This involves Ryobi brushless electric pressure washers. There have been 135 reports of the pressure washer's capacitor overheating and exploding in some cases. More than 30 people have been reported injured. If you own one, stop using it immediately and request a free repair kit. Now to an eye-opening discovery in the ocean. Say hello to Neptune, an incredibly rare electric blue lobster. A lobster fisherman, along with a local educator, donated Neptune to a university after realizing just how rare it is. Researchers say lobsters sporting a shell this vibrantly blue, well, they're about 1 in 2 million, which makes Neptune truly out of this world, I guess. Mexican food lovers, yeah, listen up. Taco Bell has announced its new menu that's a blast from the past. Starting September 9th, customers will be able to enjoy the return of 5 classic menu items. They include the double-decker taco, 7-layer burrito, chili cheese burrito, Cool Ranch Doritos, Locos Tacos, and caramel apple empanada. In addition, the fast food chain is adding a new Discovery Luxe box.
These don't sound classic to me. I mean, I don't know how long ago these even were.
Maybe a 90s thing? I wonder if they're bringing back those classic prices as well. Back when you could get tacos for like...
The Loco Taco, doesn't it have that really spicy shell, I think?
It's like a Dorito is the shell, like a Cool Ranch Dorito.
Yeah, that's good.
I didn't even think those left. I thought those were still around.
Yeah.
Just tells you the last time I went to Taco Bell.
Yeah, and no Mexican beverages on that list either.
See,
yeah, that's what we're talking about.
That's a whole different discussion there.
Let Dan in on this idea, this marketing team.
Good idea.
Tell us about the cool down we've got. It's getting cooler?
Yeah, it's going to be cooler tomorrow, but we do have a warm up for Labor Day. So if you're thinking about cooking out or grilling out, we do have a nice Labor Day weekend forecast, but still some rain showers, Dan and Kaylee, and then that brief cool down. So let's jump into your forecast here. Friday is going to feel considerably cooler with temperatures in the 60s for much of the day. I do expect mostly sunny skies, so it is going to be bright and beautiful looking. You may just need the light jacket, and humidity levels are going to be crisp and comfortable, feeling like early autumn. Temperatures over the course of your Thursday evening have generally been in the upper 60s. Some areas west of Toledo have climbed into the 70s, like Williams and Defiance counties, where there has been just a little bit more sunshine observed. Radar still busy with some showers pushing on through. The steadiest of those showers moving down into Hancock County, and there have been some lightning strikes that have occurred. So remember, when thunder roars, go indoors, as there could be some impacts to outdoor activities. I do want to show you some of these heaviest cells pushing into Putnam and Hancock counties. Now they are south of Bowling Green, so the rest of the game should be dry this evening. Hour by hour forecast does continue to pinpoint a couple pop-up showers that'll be tapering off shortly after sunset. And then as we fast forward the clock into your Friday, a cold front's going to be sweeping on through, and that cold front is going to spell some changes in how it feels outside. Sunshine returning, but also a drop in temperatures and a drop in humidity levels as well. All the clouds also clear on out in the wake of that front that moves down towards the Ohio River, and sunshine is going to gradually make a comeback in what will be a really pleasant but cooler feeling Friday. So out the door for the bus stop, temperatures expected to be in the lower 50s. Afternoon highs going to be in the upper 60s. Perhaps a few low 70s, mainly south of the Maumee River. Areas like BG, Ottawa, and Findlay could climb to the lower 70s Friday. High school football games, if you're thinking Big Board Friday, we are going to be a little bit on the cooler side, especially by the fourth quarter, with temperatures only in the upper 50s. Kickoff time, we're going to be around 66, and grabbing that halftime snack, temperatures in the lower 60s. So you may want to wear the sweatshirt or the hoodie for those Friday night high school football games. Weekend forecast, if you're thinking Labor Day and beyond, Saturday and Sunday both bringing some sun. sunshine. It is going to be a very dry and mild feel. Temperature is still cooler than average, but at least an improvement if you're all looking forward to a bit of a warm up. And then by Labor Day, we're going to be in the upper 70s. So weather impacts that we're tracking for this evening and tonight. The last of those rain showers are going to be ending. A brief rumble of thunder possible south of Toledo, but nothing strong or severe. Into your Friday, sunny but cooler. Temperatures just shy of 70 degrees in many areas. And by Labor Day, we're going to be closer to 80 degrees. So feeling a little bit more like late summertime, as we are still well into the summer season and have a few more weeks until autumn begins. So we are looking forward to a brief warm up, but then another cool down is to follow next week. Next couple of days do feature plenty of sunshine into that Labor Day. We're going to be at 78 degrees with dry conditions expected. By Tuesday and Wednesday, both of those days going to be in the lower 80s. There is also going to be some scattered thunderstorm activity late Wednesday and into Thursday as our next cold front moves on through. And look at the impact that cold front has on our temperatures. I'm expecting us to drop down to the upper 60s Friday, and then Saturday and Sunday next weekend is going to be cooler. So some ups and downs in the weather forecast, but certainly is looking like a really nice Labor Day holiday.
All right, thanks, John. We want to introduce you to the newest member of our WTOL 11 team, reporter Jack Crum. Jack is from Plymouth, Michigan.
Jack, tell us about yourself. What brought you from where you started to Northwest Ohio?
Yeah, here, I'll give you all the lures. So I came out of college. I graduated from Central Michigan University, fire up chips. And then from there, I took a job in Champaign, Illinois, pretty much dead center of the state, 2 hours south of Chicago. Spent 2 years down there covering everything from agriculture to local politics. And then after my 2 years were up there, I was looking to make the jump somewhere back closer to home. And that's what led me right here to Toledo.
It's funny, you grew up in Michigan, went to Illinois, and came here. I grew up in Illinois, born and raised there, and I moved here a long, long time ago.
Tracing
45 years, yeah, and now I'm kind of a townie myself here, but it's a great place to live. I hope you'll learn to love it. So what are you looking forward to learning here in Toledo?
I'm just looking forward to making contacts, learning the community. Obviously, you know, the unique part about the job that we do is we have an ability to connect with people that we, you know, chat with and the people that we story tell about. So that's really just the part is kind of learning these people in this area and telling those very important stories.
Had you been to Toledo before you came here for work?
I had went to the zoo multiple times here in Toledo when I was growing up. We my family used to do the used to be like old Christmas lights in Toledo, and then obviously we'd summertime come down and see all the animals.
Okay. And you grew up in the suburbs of Ann Arbor.
Metro Detroit, that's what I say. Yeah, no, about 10 minutes outside of Ann Arbor, 20 minutes outside of downtown Detroit. So right there in that sweet spot.
As a fellow Metro Detroiter, you're like, let me just show you real quick. So outside of work, where could we find you?
Oh man, well if it's the fall and it has been feeling like it as of late, you can probably find me either in front of a TV or at Ford Field watching the Detroit Lions.
Okay.
That's my team. I kind of wore the blue and black today for the NFC North, but definitely Detroit Lions fan, and you can catch me watching them.
I'm sure you've been with them through 0-16, all the ups and downs.
Oh, all of it. I was 7 years old when it happened. It was earliest memory was asking my dad why, when are the Lions going to win a game? But
why are we still cheering for them?
Exactly. Thanks for raising me in that, but good now.
Well, now that you're living in Ohio, you'll become a Buckeye fan, right?
Oh man, I don't know about that one.
Had to ask. That's the funniest part of the whole thing.
Well, still ahead.
The amount of flies in there, there's diapers all over the floor, there's trash everywhere, there's animals that are not being taken care for.
13 kids removed from a home after living in what police call deplorable conditions. Tonight, Toledo police body camera takes us inside where they were found.
Plus, the strike may have ended more than 2 weeks ago, but some people are still waiting for their trash to be picked up in the area. After the break, we'll show you who is still dealing with the mess.
We're thankful you're here with us for WTOL 11 Plus now.
We're breaking down your top stories tonight, starting with a first look inside the home where officers found 13 children living in what police say deplorable conditions. According to reports, police were called to the home on Raymer on August 10th for an animal complaint. Toledo Police body cam shows officers going inside where you see several children. Officers then go upstairs. They find more children. An officer then asked an adult to step outside. Officers say the home was infested with bugs. You can see the bugs flying around. Also, human feces on the floor. There was no food in the kitchen, and the home did not even have a working toilet or shower. The kids in the home described as being very filthy. Lucas County Children's Services came and they got the kids. 3 adults who live at the home were arrested and charged with endangering children. Court documents say all 3 are due back in court next month.
Well, a mother is facing charges in the 2023 death of her 7-year-old special needs son. She was taken into custody Wednesday. 29-year-old Samantha Hardiman was charged with 2 counts of murder, 1 count of involuntary manslaughter, and 3 counts of endangering children. Christopher Snyder was found dead in a central Toledo home in June of 2023. According to court records, Hardiman is due in court next week. Hardiman's live-in boyfriend at the time of Snyder's death is also facing charges. The University of Toledo Police Department says it's investing in new technology to keep students and staff safe on campus. The department recently got a portable camera trailer to supplement the network of flock cameras installed at the entrances and exits of main campus and the health science campus. The department is also preparing to expand its network of CCTV cameras with 19 new ones that will be installed this semester. Officers say they're also getting ready to host 3 community engagement events this fall.
If you thought trash pickup problems in the area were over, think again. Some people in Toledo, even in Middleton Township, say they're being left behind by Republic Services. It's been weeks since a worker strike ended, but cans, well, they're still sitting out there along the curbs. In North Toledo, Mary Reyes says her trash has been skipped while her neighbors was collected. Middletown Township, families who use Republic are also seeing garbage pile up while nearby homes using other companies are back on schedule.
I don't believe in saving garbage or trash, so I put it in the can. Why didn't they pick it up? It was Wednesday.
All right, Republic told WTOL 11 recycling routes are now back to normal. However, we're still waiting for details as to when trash pickups will be caught up.
Drivers in Toledo are used to dodging potholes, but what about one that looks like a pond? For the last year, this crater, yeah, look at that, on Woodruff Avenue has been closed off to drivers. One business owner who works directly next to it says they think it's nearly 30 feet deep and began filling with water last November. He says he's concerned about drivers using the sidewalks to drive around this.
Sidewalk is now like a street. And these kids play right out here. My biggest fear is the kids. How it affects our business is a little bit logistically. It looks disgusting, you know. You pay taxes, but it's gross every single day.
A spokesperson for the city of Toledo tells us they had to order a part that had to be made specifically for this repair. They expected to get it in October and hope to have the leak fixed by the end of that month.
You've already found Toledo's only local, live, exclusively streaming newscast, but have you had a chance to check out the other programming here on WTOL 11 Plus? On a brand new episode of Good Day, after the show, Amanda Fay and meteorologist Ryan Weekman sit down with Jerry Anderson.
I'm blessed.
Yeah.
There's just no way there's no other way to look at this. I grew up in South Toledo, Heather Downs area, 3113 Schneider Road. I think there should be a historical marker out in front of it, okay? And they had built Southland Shopping Center. This is back, not Southwake, Southland Shopping Center. Okay. They built that, and in a field behind it sat a little white cinder block building or whatever, and it was a radio station. It had a tower out there. And it hosted WTOD, AM was there, 1560 AM. Back in those days, this is what dates Jerry. Yeah. We listened to AM radio for music. FM radio, nobody had. There weren't even FM radios in cars, and if they did, they played like the Percy Faith Orchestra or the Montevani Strings.
Sure.
If you wanted to hear the Beatles, the Rolling Stones, the British Invasion, the 1960s stuff, you listened to WTOD. And they were a customer of I had a paper route as a kid, and we had to deliver the paper there. And the legendary morning guy, Bob Kelly, who we just lost this year in our community, legendary guy, he did a bit every day where he took a comic strip out of there, and he read the comic strip cell by cell on the air, using their words, but then he made a comedy bit out of this. So as kids, I'm talking 12, 13 years, we've got to get the paper. Bill needs us or he'll never be able to do his show. And I would go in there to collect. In those days, you had to go ask for the money. I mean, door to door with your customers. You didn't just send it in. And I volunteered. My brother had a route too. We shared it. And I said, I'll do WTOD. And I would just go in there and stand by that big window.
Be amazed.
And watch those guys slip queuing, what they call slip queue. The turntable's already going. You hold the edge of the record, a 45, the ones with the big hole in the middle. So it's really tight, 315, W1560, WTOD, boom.
There goes the music,
And the red light's on, and I have my little transistor radio. You're saying you were a nerd. Absolutely a nerd. And they're talking there, and it's coming out here, and I thought, and then I would put that on my bicycle and ride around, and it's like I'd go to school. I know those disc jockeys.
I know them.
Kind of a big deal.
Kind of a big deal.
They couldn't do their job without me.
And I always told Bob Kelly, I said, you're the reason that I got into broadcasting. To which Bob is so quick, he goes, well, that's a lot of blame to land anyway.
Yeah, right.
You can check out the full episode of Good Day After the show tomorrow on WTOL 11+.
Well, Americans have nearly 1 billion reasons to buy a Powerball ticket this week. The lottery game's jackpot now sits at $950 million after no one matched all 6 numbers last night. This now makes it the 6th largest prize amount in Powerball history. If someone wins Saturday night's drawing, that player can choose to get 29 yearly payments or a lump sum payment of around $429 million. Your chances to win the Powerball, lottery officials say it's roughly $1 and $292 million.
So
What's funny?
So you're saying there's a chance.
There's
a chance. What's funny is there's almost most people who win the lottery, it ruins their life. So, a lot of stuff happens. They blow it. They strife in the family, the whole thing. Wouldn't you love a chance to ruin your life?
Yeah, I was going to say, I'll take one. I'll test the waters. I'll see if it ruins my life.
Let's give it a
Taking
shot.
the yearly payments is probably the smart way of doing it.
Probably so.
It'd be easy to blow through that money.
That's not the fun way.
Yeah, it's definitely not. Live a little if you're going to win the lottery.
Yeah.
Well, I think we hit the jackpot with the Labor Day forecast, though. Dan, I know we wanted some warmer weather. We're going to get at least some more seasonable conditions by then. Temperature is going to be well below average tomorrow once those showers move through tonight. Up into the 70s for your Saturday and Sunday, closer to 80 Labor Day. And then I do expect milder conditions Tuesday, Wednesday. That's ahead of another line of storms that'll come through Wednesday and Thursday. And that cold front's going to set us back into the upper 60s with some cooler early September days ahead.
Well, thanks for spending part of your day with us here on WTOL 11+. We'll see you here tomorrow.